Hello, welcome to the edition. Today, I shall narrate the opinion piece India Union Budget 2023-24 Preelection Allocation that disfavored job generating schemes. The piece is authored by Rajib Sutradhar. He is Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Christ University, Bengaluru, India. He writes on economics and finance. He can be reached at rajibsutradhar@gmail.com. Rajib Sutradhar writes, amidst uncertainties and challenges on both the global and domestic front, India's Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, presented the Union Budget 2023-24, her last full-fledged budget, before the NDA-led government faces the next general election in 2024. On the domestic front, her government has been battling an unusually high unemployment rate since the mid-2010s, which only got worse during the post-COVID era. Global slowdown and high oil prices due to the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine add to the woes. However, the statement of the Union Budget, released by the FM, presented a rather sanguine picture of the economy, with little reference to the looming unemployment crisis across the country. Highlight of the budget is its two-front focus: higher capital expenditure and reduction in fiscal deficit to 5.9% of GDP, with a further commitment to bring it down to 4.5% of GDP by 2024-25. The policy intent of the government is to revive the post-pandemic economy through supply-side intervention, entailing an increase in capital expenditure by 33% over the previous year. The measure seeks to build on a similar increase in the capital expenditure in the previous budget, 2022-23. However, the government's commitment to fiscal discipline, at the same time, means a massive increase in allocation for capital expenditure is accompanied by decline in the allocations for revenue expenditure. For the first time over the past decade, the budget allocated for the social sector as a share of total budget expenditure has dropped below 20%. The most controversial element in the budget is spending, cut by more than one-third over the previous year's budget allocation for MGNREGA program, India's massive employment program that served as a social safety net program. With the election round the corner, one would expect the government to spend more on sectors that would create jobs. Against that backdrop, higher spending on capital expenditure as against the social sector and direct employment guarantee program could be justified on the rationale that the former entails a stronger multiplier effect, leading to more job creations. There is, however, hardly any study to support such trends. The data released by Center for Monitoring India's Economy, CMIE, a private agency that regularly tracks India's economic progress, shows that the private sector is hardly enthused to make investments in response to government investment, as the sector is struggling with demand deficiency in the economy. The capacity utilization continues to remain below 75%, and sales to the fixed assets ratio, reported by the corporate sector, is on a downward spiral since mid-2010s. In a relief to the middle class, who are already getting squeezed due to high inflation, the government proposed tax rebate in a new tax regime, entailing almost 25% reduction in tax liabilities. However, this means that the tax regime has become more biased towards indirect taxes, making it more aggressive for a vast majority of Indians who are too poor to come in tax bracket. Such regressive tax regime may turn out to be another drag on demand.